So my granddaughter, Maddie, turns 4 next month. What kind of a birthday gift do you give a little girl who has every stuffed animal imaginable, as well as a basement playroom full of toys that she shares with her big brother? Well, how about a special little watercolor painting just for her? Anyway, I came up with this idea. A little picture of her, a little watercolor of her holding up a card that has a big 4 on it. It's also the idea of her dressed up as one of those characters from Frozen. I forget which one. I think the one that starts with the letter A is her favorite, with a 4 behind that. Anyway, I found a great little frame for it. Unfortunately, the frame had a piece of glass, and I don't think it's a good idea to hang anything up in a little girl's bedroom off a hanger on the wall with glass in it. So I am going to need to cut some plexiglass to fit that. That's a 5 by 7. So, down to the workshop. I'm going to blow an entire sheet of Arch's hot pressed watercolor paper on this. That is worth it. Plus, if I screw this up over here, I can also just move down here and try it again. So, anyway, that's the size of the plexiglass. The actual image will be a little bit smaller inside of that. Well, that's a sketch I did. I found out that between Anna and Elsa, Maddie likes Elsa best. So I kind of just from memory drew Maddie sort of like dressed like Elsa, with some snow-capped mountains in the background and evergreens behind her. I'm going to have to take a look at a couple of shots of the real Elsa and tweak the dress a bit, but that's basically what it's going to look like. Well, in order to get this painted, I'm going to have to transfer it to this, which means I have to take this sheet off of the watercolor block. So, find out where that is. Oh, there we go. And then I just run this old painting knife along the edge, which is just mainly a kind of a wax. And so it's all glued down at the edges because a lot of the time a watercolorist will use a lot of water, very watery washes, lots of moisture, and it tends to make loose paper ripple, which can be hard to deal with. So this keeps the edges flat and tight. So some people like the ripples. I don't. But what I'm doing here is just this little area, so it's not a big deal. Plus now I can put this, and put this, and this on the light table. Actually, why don't I just do it the smart way? There we are. I think I better sharpen that. Drawing very lightly. So I'm going to want to erase these lines if the ink lines and these don't quite match. I gotta lighten up some of these lines. I was a little bit too heavy-handed here. These lines back here, I'm not going to ink in. I'm just going to ink in my granddaughter and the card she's holding. I think I'm going to make the outline of her a bit thicker. So I'm going to go over those lines 2 or 3 times. Kind of bearing down now. So I want to make the pencil lines totally disappear. A kneadable eraser is good because it takes away the pencil but leaves the ink alone. Okay, watercolor paper should be not soaking, but just a little bit damp. So how I do that is just do a little spritz and then take a sponge. I'm only doing the sky here. I'm not going to touch anything else. And here's where all my very expensive watercolor brushes hang out. I'm going to go with this baby. Swing this around just a little bit so you can see. I rarely clean my watercolor palette. I just keep reusing dried up colors all over again. I have it upside down so that any color will follow gravity and head that way. Now I'm going to feather the edge just a little bit. This is going to be brown against brown, but this brown obviously is kind of light, which is how I want it to be. You always want to keep a wet edge, otherwise you end up with a line. I'm using my brush here as kind of like a sponge to get rid of the excess. I'm going to use this side with hopefully not touching it with the bottom of my hand. Should have done this side first. See that I just used the back of my thumb to wipe that bit onto the other side of the line. It's one of the beauties of Arch's watercolor paper. Sorry about that. It's very forgiving, as long as you're quick. The beauty of this particular brush is you see how sharp it is? All you have to do is direct that point. It's almost like a scalpel. And the reservoir of paint that's in the rest of the bristles farther up just keeps feeding it. Okay, now some of the very light colors. Too much color in the brush. Gotta get rid of some of it. Mixing up some sort of a flesh color here. Nothing huge. Sorry about that. Next door is a tiny little yappy dog. He sounds pissed off about something. Most of the colors down here in Natty are just going to be flat colors. Adding a little more red to it while it's still wet. Now I'm using it as the brush as sort of an eraser, making some of the color go away. Going back to the blue. Hope I have enough paint. I think I've got plenty. We'll make it. Okay, just a quick one. I'm done with this for the day. I'm gonna take it up again tomorrow. Minor crisis. I finally did some online research about my granddaughter's two favorite movie characters, Anna and Elsa, and I thought that Elsa was the brunette, which I was going to say, okay, great, because my granddaughter's a brunette, so makes sense. It turns out it's the other way around. Elsa's the blonde, the one that gets all frozen. So, anyway, I'm still going to make her hair a dark brunette, like my granddaughter, because it'll be just a picture of my granddaughter sort of dressed up as one of her favorite characters. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, here we go, hair. Whoops. This is going to be tough because that's still wet, and I don't want to put my hand on it, so I'm going to like bridge it with my pinky. And just paint this with my hand balanced in the air. Lots of fun. Okay, I'm going to add some red to this blue. Give it a sort of a purpley thing going. Not all the way up. Kind of like that. Let's see, how can we do this? I'm going to use that. I'll paint on top of my other hand while it still holds down the paper to keep it from moving. Okay, we're at the fun part, sort of. I'm just kind of like adding shadows and a little bit of a three-dimensionality, whatever, making it look more rounded and real rather than just flat. I started with a fresh supply of water in my little water container here, so I'm able to go right into something like this very golden yellow and not worry about it turning into some other color. I remember you-know-who saying, we don't have mistakes, we just have happy accidents. And I'm here to tell you, watercolor is just one happy accident after another. Just a couple little bits left. I think we're done. All I have to do is trim it, frame it, and wrap it up. This is Keith Minion Studio in Stanton, Virginia. Thanks for following along.